What's up, guys? It is Sunday, April 7th. It's 7:53 p.m. and this is going to be a Sunday markets look ahead. In about 7 minutes, we have the weekly candle close. Tomorrow, we got the solar eclipse and we have some key things happening on the charts, some key signals flashing as well too. Bitcoin's holding the line. So we're about to get that weekly candle close and we need to discuss what can be next for this week. So you're going to want to subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment, join the Discord. Because if I'm not doing a video one day, I'm still keeping people updated in real time in the Discord, in the market updates channel with screenshots and kind of what I'm seeing as price action unfolds throughout the days. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with the drivers. First off, we got the 10-year yield bond. And right now we're still crossing up. We need the bond yields to come down. We need the dollar to come down and likely cryptos will go up at that point. What I'm seeing so far is we might see a little bit more of a pop up for the bond yields to around like 4.6%. This would bring us up, this double bottom pattern up to there. If I take this high down to the low as well too, maybe we're at 4.6 to 4.71% before curling over, but that's fine. That doesn't mean that crypto is going to necessarily dump mainly off of that. That's where I'm seeing as far as a target could be, as well as that's where we'd want to get rejected at. Because if we break up above there, we could see new highs for the bond yields. And at that point, that won't be good. So we need to see us, if we pop up, break down from that point. If we go to the 3-day chart, I'm noticing a similar kind of pattern playing out with the stock RSI here, kind of looking like these times over here, like that, like this. And it does look like we're at the tail end phase before rolling back down. So I'm going to be watching the 3-day stock RSI for this kind of fractal with it to see if we cross down. That's what I'd be expecting. Maybe around middle of the week, we'd see us cross down. But so far, looking at the weekly chart, we are seeing a cross up. TSI is crossing up from that zero line. So what we would need to see is a cross back down like that. We don't want to see momentum start to build up because when that happened back in May, June-ish of 2023, we saw momentum build up until around October. We started to come down and that was really, October to January, February-ish. That's when Bitcoin had its big run. So we don't want to see a buildup of momentum here on the weekly chart. Then looking at the dollar, we're watching the 1-day chart. And we want to see that TSI cross down. What we're seeing so far is the stock RSI is pulling down. That's good. Let's look at the TSI. It is getting close to crossing down, but we need to be kind of cautious as far as we could be pulling down for a pop up. So we need to see a confirmation of that cross down. On the daily chart, on the 12-hour chart, we have the momentum coming down. We already crossed down. But just like back here, you can cross down, then come up and kind of wrestle around with it. It's not until the 12-hour TSI comes below the zero line that we really start to see a meltdown with the dollar. Just like back here, February 20th, that's when we saw Bitcoin go on its big rally back here, February 20th, big rally from 50K to new all-time highs. And we saw the dollar at that point, 12-hour chart go below the zero line in the TSI. So that's what we need to see. So don't be surprised we could cross up, kind of mess around like this before ultimately heading down. If we look at, this was February 1st. If we go to the daily chart now and look back to here, see, we could be like repeating one of those where we could be equivalent at February 1st type of thing, comparatively with the daily TSI where we're at now. So that's what I'm watching. We may have a little bit of working out with the dollar. If we take a look at kind of what it was doing at this point, it was like a fake breakdown, pop up, and it didn't go much higher. So as long as we're below 105, I would say we're okay with the dollar. Momentum is coming down on the 12-hour, which is good, but we need to see it confirmed with that 1-day TSI cross down. Then let's look at the pump dump chart for crypto. So we need to break down below that belly of the beast if we're really going to get some leggies. So if we look at the daily chart though, this is one thing we're watching. We didn't want to get the TSI above that zero line. Right now, it does look like we're stalling out. We want to see this cross down. When this goes down, cryptos go up. Just like back here, like January 31st, early February, we crossed down with this chart. And then February 10th, we got below the zero line. And then we saw a big melt up for crypto until like the second week of March. So we need to see this not get above the zero line. We need to see it curl over, and we can gauge that by looking at the 12-hour. The 12-hour is crossing down. So this is so far so good, but I want to see that momentum continue into tomorrow and us get below that zero line for confirmation that, all right, we're ready to go up and set it up in a big way for crypto. And then I'd want to see us in tandem with us crossing down with that 12-hour TSI at the zero line, come down, break that belly of the beast, and break that macro 786. And that's when we're going to see the big altcoin rally. Then looking at the alt season pulse chart, going to the weekly chart, we are crossing up on the stock RSI, but that's fine. The TSI is where it's at. That's the secret sauce. So if we're looking at the TSI, it's not enough to have it really hard stop and come up here. It's 8 o'clock right now. So we're seeing a lot of those alerts firing off. You might hear it right now. Let me just mute that. But yep, so the weekly just closed. If we look at the daily chart, we are headed up here. We want to see this cross down. Same thing with the pump dump chart. It's not entirely crossed down on the 12 hour yet, but we can go to the 9 hour. The 9 hour looks like it's ready to cross down. The 6 hour is crossed down. So we need to see this momentum continue to the downside by tomorrow, 8 a.m., preferably by the daily close tomorrow, to really have this alt season and kind of this pump be in full force. So this is what I'm watching. We want to see that 12 hour come down, blue get above the pink, and then we'll be ready to go. And then obviously get swallowed up by the belly of the beast. Looking at the total crypto market cap, we go to the daily chart. We're waiting for that daily TSI cross up. We're super close right now. We did get the 12 hour. We got the 12 hour cross up looking like a double bottom. We need to get above that zero line in the TSI though. We need to get above there, and then we need to clear above this 786, which is in line with this trend line. I'm sure of it. Yep, just about. So we need to come up a little bit more. We need to see some more momentum here. We're not quite out of the woods yet. We need about in 12 hours. We really need to continue up with that momentum, preferably by this time tomorrow as well too. We want to be up with that momentum, or we could roll back over and kind of still range here. So I'm watching the 12 hours still. I'm watching the daily. We need to see that cross up and remain above the zero line. Then looking at total 3, it's in the same spot basically. We are getting hung up by that purple moving average. We need to get back above there really. If we can get back above there, hold that support, see that 12 hour TSI cross up, which is happening right now, but it's not confirmed until tomorrow at 8 a.m. So in about 12 hours from now, we need to see continuation. We don't want to roll back down. Then that daily chart, if we can continue with the momentum in 12 hours and then in 24 hours, then we might be able to pull that cross up on the 1 day chart. So that's what I'm watching there. The other chart, same thing. We have this trend line coming like this, and then we have a trend line coming down. We're wedging right now. We're at an important kind of point. We need to see that momentum come up. The 1 day chart, we're watching for it. 12 hour probably already did it, or it's doing it right now. We need to see follow through above that zero line. So these next 24 hours are going to be key, and you want to see that momentum to continue up. You don't want to see it to roll over. And how are we going to gauge that? That's going to come from Bitcoin. We need to see Bitcoin remain above 69K. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we need to see it close up body of the candle above 69K for us to be basically kind of out of the woods. And preferably 69K, we're good. If we can get above 72K, 73-ish K, we're seeing a big bounce. If we get above 74-ish K over here, then we're seeing a melt up. We got that 12 hour buy now signal, which is great. We've seen the TSI on the zero line needs to confirm above it tomorrow at 8 a.m. So these next 12 hours for Bitcoin are going to be key. And we just had a new weekly candle as well too. So let's check that. Yeah. So it's going to be an important week as far as momentum continuing to the upside so we can avoid a cross down. So yeah, these next 24 hours are going to be key. You can see that the weekly candle did close above that 69K. That's solid, but we need to see follow through this week. And then we need to clear. And if we can clear above 73-ish, 74K, the next target is around 83, 84K. And then if we break down though, we need to hold that 64.5K first level. If we break down lower than there, 63K. And then worst case scenario, if we dump and pull down, then I'm targeting like 55K around there. And then on a wick, potentially to 50K. So that's what I'm watching. But those are the levels. Watch the momentum. Daily chart and 12 hour chart are your best friends. 12 hour buy now, which is very positive as far as Bitcoin goes, because you look to the past and it's called every single bottom since August 2023, bottom, 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 and then likely a bottom here as long as we can see that momentum pull up. So that's what I'm watching. You want to watch those key levels. We're at an important point, especially tomorrow. We got the eclipse too. We can see some curveballs getting thrown. So I'll be in the Discord. Link is in the bio in that market update section, keeping people updated in real time as the day pans out. And then, yep, we want to watch that 1 day TSI cross up on Bitcoin as well too. So that's what I'm watching. So it's looking pretty solid. You know, it's looking good, but we're still not quite out of the woods yet. We need a little bit more. We need some follow through. And these next 24 to 36 hours is going to show us how it's going to all pan out. So I'd be on watch these next couple of days and in the Discord being plugged in. So subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be on it, and I'll see you in the Discord and in the next video.